Hello and a very warm welcome to Eugene for the 9th Wonder Diamond League of this 2026 season. It's American Independence Day here, July the 4th, and the nation's 250th celebrations are in full swing. So what better place to be than at the historic home of US track and field. Hayward Field here in Eugene has seen some of the most iconic moments the sport has produced in this country, and we're hoping for more today. Women's mile, three-time Olympic champion Faith Kipyegon of Kenya taking on Georgia Hunter-Bell, the new world indoor champion from Great Britain. Talking about running fast, the women's 100 meters hurdles will see the Olympic champion Masai Russell of the USA take on the world record holder, set this record here in Eugene in 2022, Tobi Amusan of Nigeria. And then we'll wrap it up with 2-mile races. The women will go first, and then it will be the Bowerman Mile, our traditional closer here, with the Olympic champion Cole Hocker of the USA taking on the new kid on the block, Cameron Myers of Australia, currently the fastest 1500 man in the world in 2026. Can't wait for that one. It's a beautiful day in Eugene. The clouds have dispersed, headed off to the coast. We've got fantastic sunshine. It's warming up, not as hot as in other parts of the US, thankfully. It'll get up to high 20s this afternoon, a little breeze, but perfect conditions for running, jumping, throwing, and great conditions for myself, Steve Cram, and Tim Hutchings to bring it all to you. Good afternoon, Tim. 400 metres first event.
It is indeed, yes. The athletes out on the track and ready to go here at Hayward Field. They used to call Zurich the one-day Olympics, or was it the one-night Olympics? Well, you know what? I think this meet is beginning to take on that mantle, because the fields here today are quite astonishing and so competitive, and this 400 is no exception. It includes the reigning world champion from Tokyo last year, who sang Colin Kabinat-Chippy of Botswana, who will go in lane 5, the 22-year-old. He's young for a 400-meter runner, and yet he's one of the quickest ever. He's the world number 2 this year. He is that reigning world champion from Tokyo. So the athletes almost ready to go then. It's a busy infield with several field events already underway. This men's 400 meters due off in, what, about 2 minutes time. You have to say that Kabinat-Chippy, with the form he's in, 43.54. Last Sunday in Paris, just 7 days ago, he ran one of the quickest times in history. There is the lineup. Rai Benjamin, world champion in the 400-meter hurdles, of course, from Tokyo last year, goes in lane 9. Vern Norwood in 8. Jacori Patterson, 7th in the world championships last year. He's in 7. McRae goes in 6th, world indoor champion last year in Nanjing. And Vern Norwood, well, there he was in lane 8. It is a stacked field, it really. Jacori Patterson, huge talent, won the Diamond League final last year in 43.8 in Zurich. 44.1 this season so far. That was in Rabat. Chris Bailey, world indoor champion last year, 6th in the Olympic Games in Paris. 44.06 is his lifetime best just recently. Kabinat-Chippy, the reigning world champion, only 1/100th of his personal best last Sunday in Paris. People talking about him, whispering it. The world record, which of course still belongs to Wade Van Niekerk from 2016 in Rio, 43.03. Callum McRae goes in 4, 43.91, his personal best, 44.4 this year. Mike Norman, world champion back in 2022, on this very track. He won from Kirani James and Matt Hudson-Smith here 4 years ago. A 43.45 man, one of the quickest in history. Ezekiel Nathaniel goes in lane 2 for Nigeria. He's only 23. 44.75, his personal best. Better known as a 400-meter hurdler. His PB 47.11 is the Nigerian national record over the barriers. And Chris Robinson goes on the inside. He's a big fella, 6'2". He won't be delighted with that lane draw. He too is a 400-meter hurdle specialist. 47.7, his lifetime best for 400. 44.1. He ran in April last year, but only 46.1 this year. He'll need to produce a huge season's best to be remotely competitive in this sort of company. Kabinat-Chippy, well, the Botswanan, already this season he's run a 100 personal best of 9.89. That was in Gaborone back in early April. Just 3 400 so far this year from him. He was beaten in Francistown actually in domestic meet in 44.5 back in March, and then he won the Xiamen Diamond League, one of the Chinese meets that opens the season at 43.9, and then he won in Paris last week, really convincingly, 43.5. Cabinaccipi was doing press-ups straight after the race, just to show how easy it was for him. He goes in 5. Well, the 400 is generally regarded as a big man's discipline, but Cabinaccipi is relatively slight in this sort of company. He's gone off very fast through the first 100. He's already up on Chris Bailey into the back straight. He's passing men outside him. Aggressive running 2 inside him from Callum McRae. He's pretty much matching Cabinaccipi stride for stride as they go into the second bend. Good running 2 out in 7 from Jacori Patson. He's already picked up Vernon Norwood out in lane 8. Around the crown of the bend is still Cabinaccipi in the lead in lane 5. Good running outside him though. Brilliant running on the outside from Rai Benjamin. Wow, look at Benjamin in lane 9. Benjamin leading at the moment. Cabinaccipi battling to come back to him and does get past him in the last 50. Takes it there at the line. 44.01. Very, very tight, competitive race, that one. Cabinaccipi had to work harder there than he did last week in Paris to run half a second quicker just to catch Rai Benjamin, who some people regard it as a positive running on the outside, running blind really. You can't see what your opposition are doing. But Rai Benjamin, a big, big fella. He's raced very sparingly this last couple of years. But look at him there, left of picture. Doesn't know what's going on inside him. Now he gets an idea, and Cabinaccipi too, Steve, having to work very hard. And look at him pumping with the arms there, the little Botswanan, to ease into the lead, and actually wins by what? About 1.5 meters eventually.
Yeah, well, Benjamin really took it to him. I know eyes were in those middle lanes, but he went out really hard. He ran a brilliant bend as well around that top bend, and maybe pushed a little bit too much, Benjamin. He won the Continental Tour event in Tokyo. He's in good form on the flat 400, and it's just here. He just starts to tie up. Cabinaccipi knows he's got something to do. He's just got enough over the last 50, but Benjamin had pretty much led that race all the way through. Probably for me just gave it a little bit too much around the bend, but like you said, when you're in lane 9 you have to do that.
So there it is, personal best for Rai Benjamin. He did run hard from the outside. Cabinaccipi had to work very, very tough for that 44 dead winning time, and the USA, well, nothing wrong with their 400-meter squad, is there? Look at those times, all way, way below 45 seconds. Mike Norman, 45.47. When you think he's a 43.4 performer, former world junior champion at 200. But Cabinaccipi, I think, just delighted with the win there. He might be disappointed not to have gone under 44 seconds, but it is about winning and losing. That has to be the priority. And he was able to respond there when the challenge was presented to him by Rai Benjamin.
Lots of good action in the field to look forward to today. Women's shot put got underway a little while ago. We'll be seeing the culmination of that shortly, so let's just bring you up to date. This is round 1. Chase Jackson definitely want to get a win here on home soil, and Chase got off to a very, very good start in round 1. Exactly what you want to do. Gets it out there beyond 20 meters, 20.56. Great start to her competition. Schilder's won the last 2 Diamond Leagues, but sorry, the first 2 Diamond Leagues, but Jackson won in Oslo, 2074. Lovely conditions today, much warmer. I thought it was a little cooler a couple of hours ago. Had plenty of cloud cover, but excellent conditions now. So Jessica Schilder. This was in the second round after a no-throw in the first round. Schilder gets that one beyond 20 meters as well. Not quite good enough to challenge Jackson. 20 meters 11, that would be measured at. Don't forget, in the field events, I know you're probably very familiar with the format now. 5 rounds, and then the 3 top-ranked athletes get 1 more throw in round 6. So getting something out there early, really important. So the 2 favourites for this out in 1 and 2 at the moment.
Well, we can go over to the discus for the men, where things are just getting rolling. Miklos Alekna of Lithuania is the world record holder.
Tim, it's amazing to see him here. You know, he had an operation. He completely tore his pectoral muscle a few months back. They said he was going to be out for the season. It's amazing that he's here. He said it would take 6 months, and kind of 3.5 months into that recovery.
Well, he's 23, Steve. Yeah. He mends quicker than you and I.
Well, whatever they've done, it's been amazing. And he actually threw 70 meters, and not all those big throws that have been in Ramona and Oklahoma. So that was his first throw of the season a couple of weeks ago. His first comeback throw, he threw 70 meters, which is actually the longest one away from Ramona, and he starts today with 68 meters. So let's keep an eye on that.
Yeah, pretty useful start. Although I was talking to one or two throwers recently, and they said they take the performances in Ramona kind of with a pinch of salt, 'cause they know that the facility there is gives athletes a fair bit of distance on their throws. In fact, the people who built the facility there built an arc of circles so that they can choose which is the best circle to throw from, depending on the wind there on any given day, any given time. And that is, it's not bending the rules, it's legit, but World Athletics have actually said they will recognize marks from Ramona, but it won't count for points, I think was the point they made.
Yeah, you kind of, I don't know how many national records have been broken there. 2 or 3 this year, which we'll come on to a little bit later on.
Galore in
I know,
Ramona.
exactly. Okay, so back on the track, talking about personal best world records. This is the track, if you are a hurdler, women or men, to come to visit. Mentioned at the top of the show, Toby Amusan, who broke the world record here in the, was it in the heats or in the semi-final at the World Championships in 2022. Actually, I think, didn't she run faster in the final? And it was wind assisted.
The semi-final, she ran the world record.
Yeah. Anyway, a little while ago, a couple of weeks ago, as we're just seeing the athletes introduced here, Eric Edwards is going to be in lane 1. Yeah, the world record, incredible new world record, 12.75 in the men's 110 hurdles, set in the NCAA Championships. Man, we're going to see in a couple of minutes. Demario Prince, we saw just walking out before in lane 8. This is Bran, who's had a good season as well. If anyone's going to challenge the new world record holder, Jacoby Tharp, then it may well be this man here. Jamal Britt, who's been in great form. He was even talking about, you know, struggling through his career last year and trying to make ends meet, and then he's had a superb season this year, and 12.89 in Paris, becoming the 8th fastest of all time. Then you add in Cordell Tinch, the new world champion from last year in Tokyo. All of these men in great form. Grant Holloway is not too far from me on the microphone today. I'm sure that he must have, like everybody else, been absolutely astounded by Jacoby Tharp's performance. Then we got Orlando Bennett, who took the silver behind Cordell Tinch in Tokyo. It's just the way the introductions are done here. It's a little bit confusing. And then on the far side, Jamal Marshall. We thought they were going to do kind of 1, 9, 2, 8, etc., but they've gone from the outside in. So Eric Edwards gets the plaudits for being the last one to walk out. So let's get back to Jacoby Tharp. First NCAA world record since 1976, and that was Dwight Stone's in the high jump. And Dwight was actually there at the NCAA's a few weeks ago.
On this track?
Absolutely, yes. So Tharp in lane 4, Tinch is in 5, Britt is in 6. Breeze is kind of swirling around a little bit. We had a couple of 100-meter heats earlier on with a slight headwind. If we're looking for something quick here, then just would love that to just turn a little. Tharp and Tinch finally settle. You know, the starter's marksman not quite happy there. He's waving his hand. Not quite sure why. So yeah, let's just go back to that. I mean, so many stats around that race, that 12.75. I mean, he said himself he knew he was on to something quick. But Merritt was there as well. The former world record holder, Aries Merritt, was watching. I would love to have got his thoughts.
What was great at his press conference yesterday, Tharp said his start wasn't great and he doesn't think his last 3 hurdles were great. So he found room for improvement. Having set a world record, he knew it wasn't perfect.
Alan Johnson, perhaps one of the greatest of all time, said that this man here is the best he's ever seen over the last 5 hurdles, which is high praise indeed. So let's go through the lineup. Closest to the camera is Eric Edwards of the USA, then Jamal Marshall, USA, Orlando Bennett from Jamaica, world silver medalist, the new world record holder, Jacoby Tharp in lane 4, Cordell Tinch, world champion in lane 5, Jamal Britt, one of the fastest in the world in lane 6, Braxton Brand in 7, Demario Prince in 8, and Dylan Beard on the far side in lane 9. Men's 110 hurdles. Tharp actually gets out pretty good. Britt gets the best start. Tinch has just got left a little bit. It's between Tharp and Britt at the moment. Tharp's just got the lead. Tinch trying to get back, but look at Jamal Britt. Jamal Britt is right there. He might just get this on the nod. Who's going to get it? It is Britt. 12:87. Legal time. A new meeting record. That beats David Oliver's time, set in 2010. It's been taken down 100th of a second, 12:86. And it's Jamal Britt who gets quicker than he ran in Paris. And he knew he probably would need to be, because Tharp was not too far behind. This young man is producing great times, but not good enough to win this time. They both got out pretty well. Just a little mistake for me there, Tim. 2 out, and he just almost leaned back, and Britt had a slight advantage, which turned into half a metre. Yeah,
ironically, when we know that Tharp has got over the last few, Britt was the better over the last 2 or 3 flights, and wins it pretty comfortably eventually. Let's take a look at really good start from Tharp. There he is, 4th from left, clearly in the lead at the moment. Jamal Britt in the yellow, 4th from right, coming back at him, and about there gets in front of him. Only over the last couple of flights, eases past the new world record holder. And I guess that's almost like a weight off his shoulders. Now he's been beaten, Steve. He knows he's mortal, and he can get back to focusing upon improving his form and his form over the last 2 or 3 flights.
The thing is, Tim, you know, Tharp is going to keep getting quicker. He's got that consolidation now, but this guy himself also improving. Has he got the raw speed to go at 12:75? Who knows? But he's getting quicker all as the season goes on. 12:86, that's phenomenal. There you see the other times. A personal best for Prince, 13:01, getting closer to the sub-13 club. Tinch and Bennett taking 4th and 5th. Great race from Britt. Really good season he's having, building on the back end of last year, and just rewards for an athlete who's just stuck to it. I know he wants to move into coaching himself as well, but he's a beautiful hurdler. No mistakes this time again. Just think that Tharp kind of lost it 2 out, and it's the pressure of Britt that made that happen. Looking forward to the women's 100 hurdles later as well, and as I mentioned, the wind just turned around nicely there, wasn't it? Just plus, what was it, plus 1.8, perfect.
Well, new leader in discus, Christian Che, 67.25, coming for Che in the 2nd round, but that one from Che in round 3 is big, it's bigger, almost 70 metres from Christian Che, the massive Slovenian. He's 2 metres and 6 centimetres, 6'9". He's a massive fella. World champion in this stadium back in 2022. He has good memories from 4 years ago, Christian Che. And that is nice. He's building nicely. 66 is opener, then a 67. That's 69.94. That 3rd round effort to ease past Alekna's opener of 68.81.
Shot putters, I mentioned about the final 3 earlier on. Not much changed after those first 2-3 rounds. Fanny Roos in the 3rd round getting out to 1970. So they will be the 3 to contest the final throw, and they'll go in the order in which they are placed. There'll be Jackson, then Schilder, then Roos.
For the final 3 throws in the women's shot put
Jackson will throw first.
The 3 throwers will throw in their current order.
So competitive, these athletes, swapping wins and losses.
The opportunity to throw last in the order.
With her opener, best so far. And a reasonable lead over Schilder. The Dutch athlete, 20.56, her opener. She's backed that up with a couple of other 20-meter plus throws, 20.34 in round 2, 20.28 in round 4. In fact, here she goes, her final effort. She has the best 3 throws of the competition so far. Very fast across the circle there. That one just short and shy of 20 meters. So the carrot being dangled there, so to speak, for Jessica Schilder. She knows she can catch the American. She needs to find, what, another 47 centimeters to ease past Jackson. 1957, the closing effort. Well, Jackson, the 2-time world champion.
Reigning world champion. Diamond League record holder.
All right. How many times have we seen somebody produce something in these final 3 throws? Not too many, but Jessica Schilder's done it on 1 or 2 occasions, and that's within her range. She's gone over 21 this year. Can she fight something here right at the end? No.
And that'll bounce a little shy.
Well, she settles for second at best, unless Fanny Roos can produce something.
In second position.
Right in front of the crowd here down at the finish line. Perfect vantage point. Good atmosphere as well. We've got the men's shot later on this afternoon to look forward to as well. 2011, best effort for Schilder in round 2.
For Fanny Roos of Sweden, new lifetime best of 19 meters 70.
So Fanny Roos, after producing her best ever throw, 1970. What a place to do it as well. Put her in the top 3 here, the 31-year-old from Sweden. Final throw of the competition. Not a bad effort, but she's fouled it. She knows it's not going to improve match for her. Goes home with an excellent 3rd spot in the Diamond League and a new personal best as well, 1970. So as you were before we went into the final 3, Chase Jackson winning with the very first throw of the competition, 20.56, and then Schilder in the second round tried to respond. She had a couple of no throws as well. Most of that action in terms of the positions all happened in the first 3 rounds.
Back to the track then for the rarely run 2 miles for women. Just 13 starters in this one. It hasn't been run here since 2022 when Francine Niyonsaba just eased under 9 minutes, 8:59 the Burundian ran that day. She'd won it the previous year as well. The world record, by the way, 8:58 as this field gets underway. Only 2 athletes have ever broken 9 minutes for the women's 2 miles. It's a bit like the men's 2 miles, where only 2 athletes have ever broken 8 minutes. But the pacemaker, Mia Barnett, hits the front. They need to run if they're going to get down towards 9 minutes. About 67 per lap. That's well within the capability of several in this field. It is a high caliber field. Out in particular for Alashine Baweke, World Under 20 3,000 champion a couple of years ago. Shelby Houlihan goes in this one too for the USA. That's who the home crowd will be rooting for. So Schweitzer as well for the USA. Blonde-haired, tucked in there, talking about 8th place something at the moment.
Well, just checking, Tim, one of the favourites here, you'll remember this because it caught us out, but Alashine Baweke, she was the one who, remember with her compatriot from Ethiopia, Belane, wore the wrong numbers, wore the wrong name bibs in Zurich at the World Diamond League final. Baweke was originally, we called her as the winner, and it wasn't. It was Belane who'd actually won the race. She's going to, I think, run well here. She's having a great season, the World Junior Champion at 3,000 metres, wearing the correct bib today. But, you know, he's still learning the 5,000, but produced at 14.18. I mean, that's phenomenal. They've got so much talent, haven't they, Ethiopia, all these youngsters, well, just produce these amazing times.
Do you know what? I'm just about to say, there's a lass in this, 18-year-old Ethiopian called Marta Alameo. She won the World Cross Country Under-20 race in Tallahassee back in early January by 26 seconds. She won the World Junior Cross Country by 26 seconds at the age of 18. She won it actually back 2 years ago in 2024 in Belgrade when she was 16. I mean, it is unbelievable the talent some of these young Ethiopians have. She was only 17 in January actually when she won that World Cross Country. Thrashed the rest of the world at cross country. That's Alameo. And a single file suggests the tempo's pretty good here at the moment, although the pacemaker is, what, 40 metres ahead of the field and sticking to the sort of times they need to get in 9 minutes. She goes through 800 and 216, so she's running 68, but the field not remotely interested at the moment.
Yeah, I think what happened there was, you know, Mishesha, who was in second place, and she's one of the more experienced runners, and the others kind of sat behind her, but she let the pacemaker go, and now the youngster you were talking about, Marta Alamao, has taken it on. It's a bit late now, the lights have gone, the pacemaker's gone, and continues to go away. It is warm, Tim, you know, and everyone keeps talking about fast times, and it's easy to say that, but you get out there on the track and temperature's rising, and you might start to have different thoughts out there. But yeah, pacemaker's away, gone, if anything, is even just a tad ahead of the lights. So a good race behind, which we can concentrate on.
I sometimes feel as though when a pacemaker builds up a lead like this, which is fully 50 metres, the meet director needs just to step out and say, hey, don't worry about it. You know, we'll pay you anyway. Step off the track. But the field bunching, there's a little bit of changing of position now in the blue vest. That is Shelby Houlihan, world indoor silver medalist at 3,000 metres last year in Nanjing. Will come down below us now with 5 laps to go, and the pacemaker in this sort of situation totally surplus to requirement, just going through the motions. That pack 2 or 3 abreast as they head into the 4th lap, and nobody pushing it hard.
Now Mishesha back in front of the leading that pack. 71's a running, Tim, so you know that's not even a fast 5,000 metre pace for these women. Second pacer there is with the group, so but that was meant to be you know, a slower pace for those behind. But yeah, interesting. So look, at this stage of the season, for many athletes, we should mention the fact that there are no major championships, Americans, Ethiopians, etc. For others, Commonwealth Games, European Championships, so everybody in kind of a different state of the season race-wise. I thought they might have had a bit of a go at this today, though.
Well, the second pacemaker is up alongside the leading athlete from the pack. That is Mishesha, bronze medalist at the World Indoors over 1,500 4 years ago. She's a 3:54 1,500 metre runner, so 2 miles for her, well within her range. As the second pacemaker drops out, they are now both off the track, the pacemakers. Towards the back of the field is Bw CatalystvProductions of Canada. She's an Olympic 5th placer back in Tokyo 2021, remember that? She's a 3:56 performer at 1,500 metres, and this is becoming, it has over the last 4 or 5 laps been so slow that it is going to play into the hands of the really quick finishers, the 1,500 metre specialists. They're beginning to make it a little bit more respectable at the front, but everybody else just sort of biding their time, and only one athlete, I think, is that Ella Donahue towards the back of the field, beginning to struggle now as it's picked up. And when they come through below us this time, it'll be 3 laps to go.
Yeah, no real injection of pace just yet. Chu just has picked it up. Mishesha's not been too far away, but has not really done anything. It's why others have had a bit of a nibble at the front. But again, not with much effect. The whole field's still pretty much involved here. Shelby Houlihan taking a little bit closer order, realising that, yeah, you're right, Tim, you know, if you've got a little bit of pace, some of the younger Ethiopians not quite sure yet what their best race is. You know, they're making hard and fast. They've got the fast times under the belt, but in this scenario here, what do? Make a long run for home, sit and wait. They will know each other in terms of kicking ability. Nobody breaking ranks just yet, with not be long to go, just 1,000 metres left.
Well, their time at 2,556. I mean, it's only a few clicks inside 9-minute pace for 3,000. It has been pedestrian for the first 5 or 6 laps as they go through. This will be 1,000 metres to go now. But Houlihan, the further this race goes on, will be fancying her chances more and more. She is a big kicker. She's the US record holder at 1,500 meters with 3:54. Came fourth in the Olympic in the World Championship 5,000 back in last year. And as they come down the straight, Houlihan looking very comfortable, just loping along behind the leader. Still Bw there, who was fifth in the world cross country. She's strong. Ran well in Rome a few weeks back, over 5,000, 14:18 there. But this is not going to be a strong runner's race, that's for sure. They go through with 2 laps to run. Bw Stafford just beginning to struggle at the back of the field there now. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 athletes still up there. Schweitzer still there as well, back in, what, 8th place at the moment.
Looks like Eugene gone back to the front then. Bw just didn't do enough, really. And the former world junior champion at 3,000. She was 7th here last year in a very fast race, but just felt as though she was trying to make an effort, but not able to do anything, really. At this late stage, all of these women now got a good chance, 600 metres left. And Houlihan moving into a very, very good spot. So it's going to be all about who's got the big kick positioning as you get into the last lap. And when do you make your move? Gradual wind-up happening now. HU at the front. They've also got a chance. Mishesha's not too slow either. She's in 4th place at the moment. Can't produce a good finish. Just sitting on Houlihan, but they're coming to the bell now. What, there's 9 of them got a chance here.
Houlihan just allowing a couple of them to go past her as they come to the bell this time. You hear it, they hear it. Houlihan back in 6th now, just getting in a bit of traffic. We're so used to the Ethiopians being very competent racers. They're strong and consistent, and they can finish fast as well. Houlihan just looking like she's lost a couple of places there. Moves around the outside, down the back straight. Still anybody's race. Houlihan in the blue, Schweitzer right behind her. The Ethiopians building momentum as they go through with just over 200 meters to run. Anybody's race this. Still 5 or 6 athletes who could take this. And it becomes really a test of flat-out speed over the last 300 as they hit the last 150. Bw at the front, changes gear, struggling behind her. And looking strong still is Mishesha. Bw Mishesha drawing well clear. The gaps are pretty big. Houlihan's come through really well. She's battling 3rd place. She's going to get there. But Bw takes it. The time 9:20. It's the fastest time in the world this year. That's it wasn't a high bar. The world lead was 9:36. 9:20. Well, it's a long, long way from 9 minutes or sub 9 minute territory. Don't know what conditions are like down there. Maybe a little bit breezy on the track. It's certainly warming up. That's a tough way to run 2 miles with just a burn up over the last 400.
Yeah, it was 64 thereabouts last lap, but really got going down the back straight. Bw just grabbed hold of it, didn't she? Just got that little advantage over Mishesha, who we know can sprint. I said they're not quite sure about Bw and what she's capable of. And when she won the World Junior Championships in Lima over 3,000, she did this, and she pulled away by 2 seconds. That was against juniors, but her move to the senior ranks, this is only a 5,000 meter, I said 5,000 meter, it's a 2-mile race. She's kind of learning all the time. Now she knows that she can perhaps take people on in the last 200 meters. Did it well, got to the front, got that little advantage, and Mishesha just caught napping a little bit. Let the youngster get ahead of her, and she gets the win.
They've got a production line of youngsters, the Ethiopians. Bw the winner, a world lead 9:20.02 in the 2 miles. She's just 20 years old. Mishesha herself is just 25, the bronze medalist from the World Indoor 1500 a couple of years back. And Houlihan, well, that's a good 3rd place for the American, giving this big crowd here at Hayward Field something to cheer. Alameo, the World Junior Cross-Country Champion, in 4th place on this occasion. Always a little frustrating, I feel, Steve, if you're going to accept the fact that a race is slowish and tactical and you don't get in the top 3, you come away with what? Maybe a little bit more information. You might want to go home and do a bit more speed work, but it's not a satisfying day at the office for a lot of athletes.
Yeah. I would disagree a little bit in the sense I quite like seeing non-paced. You find out more about yourself as an athlete. She was a reserve for the Worlds, I think, last year. Didn't get to go. But when you go to something like the Worlds, you've got to be able to know: can I kick the last 400? Can I, against the people who might be either in your own team or against others as well? So So she's learnt a little bit there. And you're right, you know, they're big points. We have to remember as well, athletes are here to win Diamond League points. So win coming first, second, third. You roll the dice, don't you? Take the gamble, you back yourself to sprint.
I know what you're saying, but it was a pace race in theory.
I know.
Makes you wonder if anybody spoke to the athletes and said, do you actually want a pacemaker or not? Because clearly the answer was no.
That's another question.
Athletes out on the track for the next event, the men's 100 metres, the blue ribbon event, and what a field that one is. Includes Christian Coleman, world record holder for the 60 metres indoors. Skiing solo. Ajayi of Nigeria, just 21 years old. He'll be in lane 4.
Well, this man, Alekna, as I said, kind of defied the doctors a little bit. And after surgery, he is University of Oregon now. He's changed universities. Was it University of California, based in the US? He has come from Lithuania for this, though, especially. Look at that. Wow. We keep talking about your Ramona and the throws, throwing over 70 metres is just happens all the time. But this guy threw 70 metres back home before coming here. And that really is the longest throw of the season, away from the Oklahoma win, as it were. But a 69.74 there. Close, but Chase still leads, 69.94. 20 centimetres in it.
Well, that's building nicely, that discus. This one, blinking, you'll miss it. So little room for errors in the 100. The world lead, 9.82 by Bw Seville. The Jamaican who won the world title last year in Tokyo. He is the world champion. He'll go in lane 7. There's Ajayi of Nigeria, the NCAA champion from 3 weeks back. He's the world number 2 this year, best of 9.84. There is Seville. He'll be 3 lanes away from Ajayi, the youngster. Seville is the fastest in the world this year with 9.82. That was in Kingston, Jamaica, just a couple of weeks ago, and he lifted the Jamaican title. Brandon Hicklin. He goes in lane 1, hasn't broken 10 yet this season, lifetime best of 9.93. Good long jumper too, he's jumped 8.18. There's Joseph Paul Amoa of Ghana, holds the national record for 200 from 5-6 years ago. He's a late developer, he's recently set a personal best of 9.92 in Guelph, Canada at the beginning of June. Akeem Blake, bronze medalist of the World Indoors a couple of years back, Diamond League final winner that year too. 3rd in the Jamaican Championships in his season's best 9.94. 2 weeks back. There is Ajayi, who we've already seen. He's the NCAA Indoor 60 metres champion, and he took the 100 title as well in a windy 9.72 on this track a couple of weeks ago. Christian Coleman, world champion back in 2019 in Doha. Only 5th in the US Championships last year, but he helped the USA to gold in Tokyo at the World Championships in the 4x100. He was the lead-off man, of course. 7th quickest in history, Coleman. Kenny Benarek, well, he's in fabulous form. He said in his press conference yesterday that the 100 is like a warm-up for him because he's pretty useful at 200, he's pretty useful at 400. The 100 for him is over before he can blink. He's in fabulous form too, Benarek. Bw Seville, the world champion from Jamaica. Great championship temperament, personal best to win that title in Tokyo last year. He's a tiny figure, 1.70 m, 5'7" Seville. There's Lachlan Kennedy, the other great Australian sprinter after Gout, silver medalist of the World Indoors last year over 60 metres. He's only 22, Kennedy. He goes in lane 8. And there is Abdul Rashid Saminu of Ghana, 6th in the African Championships in Accra, on home soil, back in the middle of May. He ran an almost legal 9.88 just a couple of weeks back in LA. He too, pretty slight, 1.73 m, 5'9", Saminu. So these athletes will load themselves into their blocks then. Hicklin in 1, Amoa of Ghana in 2, Akeem Blake in 3. He'll start fast, watch him. Kansola Ajayi, the world number 2. Not well known on the international circuit, Ajayi. 9.84 he's run this year, he's in 4. Coleman goes in 5, world indoor record holder. Kenny Benarek goes in 6, he's in great form, watch him. Bw Seville, the world champion, 3rd from left for Jamaica. Kennedy in 8, and 7 and 9. Away they go. Good start there from Seville, 3rd from left in that light Mo kit. Also going really well in 4 and coming through is Ajayi. Ajayi has taken them to the cleaners in this one. Wow, 9.84. The win plus 0.1, almost still air. And the youngster for Nigeria maintains his wonderful form off that NCAA win. It was a windy 9.72 he ran, and it equals his national record. Brilliant start from Ajayi. He got away so quickly. Seville had a good start, but I wish they'd been in lanes adjacent to each other. That might have seen a better race in a way. I don't think Seville had time to react when he realised how well Ajayi was going through about 17 metres. Powerfully built lad, eh?
Kenny gets completely left. Seville gets out. Coleman got a good start, faded. Only one man who puts everything together. Ajayi got a good start, really good transition into his top speed, and then just kept going. And if anything, finished stronger than anybody else. Perfect race. Equals his national record. You can see there, a couple of seasons best for Coleman and Benarek. But he made that actually look very, very easy against a very good field. Yeah, I'm pretty sure more to come as well. Really, really good.
He's got it all, this kid, hasn't he? I mean, when you think, Steve, he's great over 60 metres. Very, very neat sprint, very powerfully built, high knees, just gets on with it, business-like. I mean, Coleman's a quick starter, but he left Coleman for dead over the first 40.
Yeah, I mean, his reaction time isn't as quick as the others, but it's those first 3 or 4 strides that he gets up and into. He's running very, very quickly indeed. So yeah,
let's go!
To see big win.
Let's go!
His career really taking off on the way up. Let's go indeed.
So close to the world best of Oblique Seville, 9.82, but the point, most important point is he handed the Jamaican a big defeat there. Seville wasn't close.
I think the thing, Tim, you know, we kind of look at some of these sprint times sometimes. Oh, in Lexington, fine, but let's come and see you do it in the Diamond League. Well, he's just done it. He's equalled the time that he did in Lexington on a big stage against top athletes here. So he's the real deal. Very, very good indeed. Well, this discus competition, Che with a good early throw, but Alekna closing down on him. 69.94. He backed that up with a 68.04. Alekna has been peppering that mark. A couple of no throws for the man coming back from injury. So this is his 5th round throw. Can he improve again? Looks like heading right out there. That is going to be well over 70 metres. We're looking out on the field. You saw a graphic there. There isn't actually a white line on the field. I was watching the discus sail out, pretty flat from Alekna, but it just kept going and kept going. Just throwing into a slight breeze, just trying to float it on there. So 71.06. That is phenomenal. To be fair, given what he's had to put up with in the last 3 or 4 months, it's incredible.
That is a big, big throw. There's only a handful of men gone over 70 this year. He's amongst them now. Stoner will be next to throw. Next event on the track, the women's 3,000 metre steeplechase. The climax of that discus to come. We'll obviously bring you that.
Well, what a race we've got in prospect here. Faith Cheretich, the world champion from Tokyo 25. And I guess the athlete who we thought might come and challenge everybody and has done, winning the world championships. But we've also got Winfred Yavi, the Olympic champion, world champion from 2023. One of the quickest ever. The race here last year was absolutely phenomenal. Then you add in the Olympic champion from Tokyo in 2021, Chemutai of Uganda. We've also got Geruto in this race, who won the World Championships when they were held here in Eugene. Krauser's back, her first steeplechase of the year. There is Geruto, whole host of the top Americans that we've ever seen in this event. Jennings perhaps the best at the moment. Makoba, going to see her in a second, is back. Also Courtney Wayman. So lots to look forward to here. And also Buzayani, we just saw the camera go past her earlier on, from Tunisia, who's been having an incredible year, 3 times under 9 minutes already. But they are the 3 big names who I think will go with this pace, who are going to have a real go. Bit of a breeze down the back straight, but the women's 3,000 steeplechase, hopefully looking for something really quick. We were treated to an amazing race here last year. That was one which we'll always remember, 8:45.25, almost breaking the world record. Yavi on that occasion coming out on top, but to be fair, Chimitai has managed to get the better of her on a couple of occasions, beating Yavi and Cheretich in China, Xiamen. So Tim, what we're going to get, pace or not pace?
Well, it's a very good question. I think the steeplechasers do take it on a little bit more willingly than other distance racers. You know, only 17 women have ever broken 9 minutes, but there are several names in those 17 who do it on a regular basis. And when athletes are running down in the 8:40s, then you know that sub-9 for 1 or 2 women in this field is not that big a barrier, so to speak. And the single file in the early few hundred meters, Steve suggests the tempo is good. They are looking for something quick here. Taylor Lavelle out in front.
Yeah, Chimitai, Cheretich slotted on. Yavi just a little bit further back. Buzayani right up there already, but gaps already just starting to appear. Remember, Tim, you and I were in Stockholm, and Buzayani won there, but she went out at an incredibly fast pace, almost on her own, went with the pacemaker. Remember then, pacemaker dropped out. She looked as though she was slowing down so much the field might even catch her, but then she rallied, and she came back again with another sub-9 clocking. Just wonder whether she'll hope to get a good toe round here, but they're going to go so quick here. It's a little bit of a gap that Yavi just needs to close, and is doing so. Buzayani trying to hang in there as well. This is going to be quick. You roll the dice in this, in the sense of once you've made this commitment after 600 meters, you've got to go with it.
Absolutely. And I mean, they're two very distinct packs, aren't there? The second pack includes Krauser, the former European champion, includes Emma Coburn. I had a long chat with Coburn yesterday. Remember the London 2017 World Championships? She was the winner there. She has a personal best, Coburn, of 9:02, and she said she'd be delighted if she can break 9:20 today. It's all about gradually getting back. She's 35 now, but she said she's had 3 years of injuries that have really kept her away from being able to train as hard as she would have liked, and it'd be great to see her get under 9:20 today and push on back towards world-class level.
Nearly lost our pacemaker there, Tim, while we were talking. Almost taking a tumble down the back straight over that barrier. So Taylor Lavelle has been asked to go out very, very quick. Buzayani's checked out already on this fast pace. 2:53, we're looking for the first kilometre. The light's just moving ahead a little bit. She's just struggling to get into the hurdles here and keep a smooth rhythm at the front. So Cheretich, Yavi, Chimitai, the 3 big names have got themselves tucked in behind the pacemaker, but it'll be a question of when Lavelle stops, when she steps off, who, if anybody, is really going to take this on when you've got 3 such brilliant athletes together.
Well, the good news, Steve, is that first kilometre, 2:54.68, sub 2:55. They are on world record schedule through the first 2.5 laps. Now, if they can keep pushing along here, and at some point the pacemaker needs to step aside. In 1 or 2 races recently, seen pacemakers almost holding back the pack. You know, there's skilled pacemaking. It's not just about hitting the right tempo, it's about moving out of the way at the right time. She must have been listening. So it's been set up really well. That was good pacemaking by Taylor Lavelle.
Yeah, they've lost the lights though, Tim. They have slowed, and just that pause, that time, and it means that Buzayani and Lemingol are managing just about to get onto the other 3. But this is what I was talking about. Now, what do you do? Who's going to take it on? Yavi just on the outside, looks as though she fancies it, but doesn't really want to commit here. So now we've got 5 of them. Cheretich just keeping out of the way. She'll be trusting her kick. Had a couple of injuries earlier in the year, Cheretich. Said, I'm still building my season. So I don't think we'll see her overcommit. She's probably not quite sure of her fitness just at this point. But follows Yavi. Chemitai's out-kicked Yavi in China. We saw that earlier in the season. And look at this, chopping and changing. Chimitai taking it on again. Cheretich following. Yavi just will be happy, I think, to see Chimitai do this, but Buzayani and Lemingol managing to hang on at the moment.
Lemingol is one of those sub-9-minute performers, only 9:18 this year. That was back in the middle of May, a few weeks ago. Presumably she's put on some layers of fitness since then. There she is in the red in 5th place at the moment as they go through. And if they get anywhere near 6 minutes for 2,000, then we're looking at sub 9, because they will close fast. So often, Steve, you expect this middle kilometre to be on the slow side. It's almost like the psychological build-up, as well as taking a bit of a break after a really quick opening kilometre.
Well, the world champion mustn't have too many doubts. She's taking it on here. So Faith Cheretich, as they approach 3 laps to go. But there are 5 still there. And although she's gone to the front, she really hasn't injected much pace here at this point. So for Yavi, Chemitai, Buziani, Lemengole, still involved. All 5 women here, but Cheretich, in her younger career, she could run away from there, the juniors, and then she moved into the seniors. And she also showed she's got pretty good quick kick, but not quite as good as 1 or 2 of the others. But last year in Tokyo, went into the World Championships in brilliant form, in brilliant shape, despite some of the fast races we saw last season, including here in Eugene, who came out as the world champion. Is a normally really good hurdler as well, Cheretich. Just stuttered into that one a little bit. Yavi can be a little bit untidy over the barriers as well.
Steve, that second kilometre, it was desperately slow. 3:03 as opposed to a 2:54 opener. It was 5:57 at 2K. So that second kilometre, 9 seconds slower than the first. What a shame. It was set up so well, and then they've opted to ease right back on the foot.
Yeah, I think the problem was, Tim, when the pacer was still running, but she slowed so much on her last lap. The rhythm changed. So look, Buziani's going, all right, guys, I came here to run fast. I want another sub-9 clocking. If I'm going to get it, we're going to have to go some here. 2 laps to go. Just stutters into that one. The Tunisian was watching an interview of her in Stockholm after she'd run yet another great race, and she said how hard that race was. She really committed, as I mentioned earlier. Look at what she's done here. Chemitai in trouble here. Yavi and Cheretich going with it, but Chemitai not able to hang on to this. The Tunisian really having a go here. She hasn't managed to win a medal yet at the top level. She's always found 2, 3 or 4 of these other athletes ahead of her at the major champs, but is improving all the time, and this year is in great shape and is not frightened to give this a go. 600 left.
Well, she's done her homework, Buziani, hasn't she? She knows they're very fast finishers, despite the barriers, these Ethiopians and Kenyans, and therefore she's taking it on from a long way out. Now, if she doesn't win the race, at least she's given herself a chance here, as you say, Steve, of getting under 9 minutes again. She really has stretched them away over this last 300, 350 metres. Her hurdling technique really does need some work. She's stuttering so badly before every one, Buziani, the tall athlete, in 3rd place.
Doing well to hang on to them. In the front, Yavi, the Bahrainian, went to Bahrain when she was just 15, was criticised by many in her country, but it's proved to be a great move because she managed to win medals for that country, and there's all the financial benefits from that as well. And she said, I don't regret it, but I love racing. She still trains in Kenya. Cheretich knows her so well and is trying to hang on to her down the back straight. Buziani still there. 250 metres to go over this barrier. Look at Cheretich, the better hurdler, just gets half a yard, but Yavi hands on to the inside. Buziani done for pace. Cheretich round the top bend, water jump to go, and then the final barrier in the home straight. Who's got the better technique? Cheretich sails through the water, opens up 2-3 metres, maybe 4 metres. Yavi trying to hang on to her, but it's Cheretich, the world champion from last year. 1 more barrier to go, it's not over yet. Takes it beautifully. That technique of hers stands her in great stead when it's finishing fast like this. It's going to be another very, very quick time. Cheretich takes the win, 8:51.74. Yavi settles for second. There'll be another massive personal best for Buziani in 3rd. Those 3 performed well. Lemengole might have even got under 9 minutes for the first time in 4th place as well. We'll check all of that. In fact, I think she definitely has to. So yet another fast race, pulled it back, that really slow middle 1,000 metres, but a very, very impressive last 600 from Cheretich.
And you know what, Cheretich looked effortless coming down the home straight. She really wasn't under stress there. Wins it so impressively, about half a second outside the fastest time in the world this year. And here she is, takes that final barrier so comfortably. Powerful legs, really little stress on the legs as she lands from that water jump down the home straight, just striding along, and she's maintained such a strong tempo this last 300. Yavi, who is normally in 2nd place there, normally such a fabulous finisher. Her hurdling technique is better, you're right, and striding away here, look at that, no stress, Nice form, comfortably wins by 7 or 8 meters. And that winning time, 8:51.74. You're right, yeah, Lemon Goli getting under 8-9 minutes as well in 4th place. That's from Cheritage. Zero stress on those features.
Well, one of her fastest runs of all time, 8:51.74. And look at Braziliana, she can hardly believe it. A new national record for the Tunisian in 3rd place, 8:54.32.
Well, we can go back to the discus now, the final 3 situation. That's the 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Each of them has 1 throw left. Alekna with that 71.06 in round 5. Massive effort from the world record holder. Che knocking on the door of 70 meters, and Roger Stone of Jamaica not far behind. He's the Olympic champion, is Stoner. He is a 70-meter thrower, so he's perfectly capable of changing his position, although he'd need to throw a personal best to catch Alekna's 71.06. Here he goes then. Alekna, the Lithuanian. Twice world championship silver medalist. Alekna last year and here in this arena 4 years ago. Silver medalist to the Olympics in Paris. Silvers. No. Well, it's in the lead, of course. The others have got something to shoot at now. I think the vast majority of athletes would swap a world record for an Olympic gold medal. I don't know, what do you think, Steve? Yeah.
Yes,
exactly. On the other hand, 99.99999% of the population would love to have run a world record.
All right, Che next in. Can he find something? Would have to be something sensational. It did start so well. There we go. That's going to just come down. Far off. Nice throw, but he knows it's not good enough. 69.94 though. Really good performance here. 69.48 measured at. Might have thought just for a second it was heading, it's obviously super far away for them to see, but sort of know, don't they?
What a series from Che though, Steve. A couple of 69s, a 68 and a 67 to back it up.
All right. Stoner with his last throw. Olympic champion. What a day that was for him. As you mentioned, not for Alekna. 67.42 is best. He's got to hit a couple of meters. I doubt we're going to see that.
Oh!
He'd have to throw a massive personal best to get into the lead. It's gone off the sector, across the track.
Wow. That just missed volunteers putting out the hurdles on the home straight. The women's 100 hurdles is next, and it skimmed across the track. Fortunately missing everybody, but that was worrying.
Winner, Alekna, 71.06. What a comeback for him. As I mentioned, surgery after a really bad tear in March. Che, 69.94 in 2nd place, and then Stoner, the Olympic champion, 3rd, 67.42. Athletes probably watching the skies, but the discus is over. Are getting out there for the hurdles, which is next to come, but we're going to catch up very briefly or very quickly with the long jump.
We are indeed. Larissa Iapicchino of Italy, 23-year-old, 4th in the Olympic Games a couple of years back, 5th in Budapest the year before that. Iapicchino opening her account. That looks pretty useful from Iapicchino. Tell you what, it looks very useful. She's a 6.93 jumper. Her lifetime best is 7.06. That came last year in Palermo. 7 meters 12. Wow, that is huge. That's a national record for her. Plus 1.8 the winder behind her. That's the 2nd longest jump in the world this year. That is just stunning. What a way to open your competition. And to say to the others, try and catch this. She's the European silver medalist in front of the home crowd in Rome a couple of years back. But that is the best jump of her life.
So the best in the world, can she respond? Tara Davis-Woodall in incredible form after just one long jump competition this year. Round 2. Oh, that's long as well. Now, she ran a same day, she only had one long jump competition this year, and on the same day she ran 12:47 for the 100 hurdles. I mean, that's world class in itself. Great speed, keeps it solid there, good takeoff, much better than the first round effort, right on the board. And that, believe it or not, is 1 centimetre further. 7:13 for the American. What a start to this competition. A new national record for Italy, and then the response from the champion.
And that's only the second round. There's so much more to come. Speaking of big competitions, this women's 100-metre hurdles promises a great deal. The fastest and second fastest athletes in history go in this race. They're both in scintillating form. Only 3 athletes have ever broken 12:20. Back to this long jump, though.
On the runway, after that incredible response, the world and Olympic champion Tara Davis-Woodall getting the crowd involved. She's a great show person, knows that the women's long jump at the moment, never just going to have things handed to it as good as she is. 7:20. She jumped in Los Angeles a couple of weeks ago. 7:13 here today, third round. Jump 7 metre, close to 7 metres. Shrug of the shoulders.
I reckon she gave away quite a bit of ground, Steve. I don't think she was close to the front edge of the board.
She was 17 centimetres to
Oh. Back to the track then for this 100-metre hurdles, and it promises so much. The world record holder Tobi Amuzan of Nigeria goes in this one. We mentioned her earlier, and set the world record here back in 2022 in the semi-finals of the World Championships. She went on to take gold, but the world record of 12:12 came in her semi. At 12:14, a mark was hit back in late May by Masai Russell, who goes here. She's the second fastest in history, and she happens to be the Olympic champion as well. There is Danielle Williams. She goes in lane 2. Devin Charlton, the world record holder indoors, 3 times a world indoor champion, the Bahamian. She goes in 3. Kieran Nugent, we missed. She's in lane 1, the Jamaican Diamond League final winner last year. There is Masai Russell, former ballet dancer. That sort of sounds about right, because this is a race where millimetres matter in your positioning. 3 times she ran in the 12:1s last year, but ended up 4th in the World Championships. There are no guarantees in this event. Tobi Amuzan, here she is, 3 times the Diamond League final winner. She is the world record holder. Commonwealth champion back in 2018 on the Gold Coast, the little Nigerian. She won here in 2023, Amuzan. She likes this facility. Grace Stark goes in at lane 6. Bronze medalist at the World Championships last year. 6th fastest athlete in history with 12.21. Can she go sub 12:20 here? Alicia Johnson, 7th in the Olympic Games. The athlete was 3rd last week in Paris in a season's best, close to her personal best. She ran 12:39 last week. Kenny Harrison, former world record holder, Olympic silver medalist in Tokyo 2021. She won here 10 years ago in 2016, the season in which she set that world record at the London Diamond League of 12:20. Tanea Marshall completes the lineup in lane 9. This year is a long way so far off her personal best from last year, 12:24. Her best this season, only 12:7, Tanea Marshall of the USA. But this could be a race for the ages. There's been whisperings of a world record attempt here from Masai Russell in lane 4, up against Tobi Amuzan, who is so consistent, Devon Charlton may well lead them over the first couple of flights. The Bahamian is super quick. Her nickname is Sonic. I'll tell you what, she's supersonic over the early part of these races. She so often gets run down. Very consistent in the early season. Had a couple of great performances in the Chinese Diamond Leagues and Rabat Charlton. So from lane 1, it's Nugent in 1, Williams in 2, but the Bahamian Devon Charlton in 3. Masai Russell goes in 4. World number 1 this year. Toby Amazon, the world record holder, in 5. Stark 6, Johnson 7, Harrison 8. Well, good start there from Masai Russell. Not a good start from Amazon. She was left in the blocks a little bit. Going really well at the moment is Devon Charlton in the headband third from right, but here comes Russell. Russell leading this one and taking it at the line there. 12:23 the winning time. It is a meeting record. The win plus 0.8. And again, the performance, the time's less important. It's been adjusted to 12:24 to match the meeting record. But it's the win-loss record that matters far more than the records. That is a time she's run a metre quicker than Steve in Jamin back in late May.
Yeah, but I think she'll be really happy with this. I mean, Charlton almost kind of stumbled. Such a good starter normally. Did try and stay with her. We just watched Charlton there. You see that little stutter there in the third step. Russell, though, smooth all the way. Got out well. Others chasing after that. Amundsen never got upturned. Was closing down at the end, but lost it in those first 6 or 7 strides to the first hurdle. Really, really good from the American, and grabs that tape at the end, doesn't she? A little bit of, I don't know, what, a little bit of a, yeah, you know, I've got it here, a little bit of aggression there.
Well, you're right. I mean, Amazon will be really disappointed with the way she started there. She's beaten by a metre. Russell, I mean, 12:24, but that's meat and 2 veg for her. You know, this is an athlete who's used to running in the 12:1s 3 times last year, once already this year. 12:24 is almost slow by her standards, but better than the rest of the world today by a good margin. In sprint hurdles terms, that's a big winning margin.
I mean, this view doesn't give you a lot of view of technique, but you can just see where the advantage is gained. And at this point there, she doesn't actually hit the front because Charlton is such a good starter till kind of hurdle 4, but then she's moving away. Now, yes, Amundsen is closing, and last 3 hurdles makes up a little bit of ground, but you just aren't going to get that back, not from Russell. Charlton quite happy, I think, to end up 3rd there in good company once again. A fast, really fast women's hurdles, equaling that meeting record. Kenny Harrison.
A little bit more wind behind them. And maybe the world record will come. She's knocking on the door of it. It's 12.12. She's run 12.14 this season. That's almost literally the thickness of her vest. But the win is hers today. That's what matters most.
Well, action already in the men's shot put. Great competition in store here. Fabry, what a night it was for him in Rome. Didn't they get 3 wins, I think, that night in the Diamond League? And getting things underway here. Oh, that's a huge effort. Squeals of delight from the big Italian. Wow. Well, not hanging around here. Brilliant start. Kovac had started the competition 21 metres. Fabry second to throw. 22.74. That is the longest throw this year. Beautiful, smooth, wasn't it? Just all in one. Beautiful motion. Keeps that speed, hangs on to it in the end there. He knew, didn't he? His arms went up before that. Brilliant. Well, that's going to be hard to beat today.
And they're all here. Ryan Krause, the only major absentee. We go back to this women's long jump now. Now, Oshkog of Sweden. 680, a personal best already from her. And coming in the second round, she opened with a 672. She is jumping nicely. She goes round 3. Ooh. Pretty big adjustments there in the last 2 or 3 strides from the Swede. Now, twice World Under-20 champion. 2021 won the long jump and the triple jump, a rare double at World Under-20s.
Well, doesn't matter where you look in Eugene, any of these races you start to talk about, is there going to be a world record? We've just seen fast hurdles, we saw a very fast steeplechase. What are we going to get in the women's 800 metres? Well, what an event it's proved to be so far this year. The Olympic champion, Keely Hodgkinson, here to run quick, but her last time out at 800 metres, she was beaten by Audrey Verreau, who herself, the Swiss athlete, not here, but has been getting closer to the world record quicker than Keely Hodgkinson. So what's Keely got to offer here today? Will be nervous, all eyes on her. In Paris, behind Audrey Verreau, Bourgoin set a new French record, lots of fast times behind Verreau that day, and Bourgoin one of those to benefit from that pace. What about Sanu Jallow? What a season she is having. It's got better and better and better. Running for Gambia, has been in the USA since age 9. In Arkansas, went to the Olympics for Gambia, but is having the season of her life, winning the NCAA champs with a 2.5-second improvement. Then we've got more experienced athletes, like Segedizo has just gone through. And then Odira, the world champion who surprised Hodgkinson and Hunter Bell in the World Championships, came from almost nowhere, running 154.7 in the final. Hasn't quite reproduced that yet, but says she's looking forward to this one. And Kai, with all of her experience, will know this is going to be a really quick race. Hayley Kitching of Australia, again another US-based athlete, 21-year-old, 157.6 new personal best this year. Then the more experienced American, silver medalist at the World Champs back in 2019, Revit Rogers. Getting a big cheer, crowd favourite here. And then to complete the lineup will be Addison Wiley of the USA. Well, let's just have a look at Keely Hodgkinson. You saw Keely stretching out. You may have noticed some heavy strapping. There's nothing wrong with her legs, but she had a bit of a fall in training last week. I think it was Saturday or Sunday last weekend, and she really cut her knees up. Hasn't caused any damage, but she's had a bit of a scare there, but we're told her, and she says, I'm okay, I'm good to go. She's asked for 55.5 pace through 400 metres, which is pretty much what you would need to do if you were going to certainly run under 154. If you're going to get close to the world record, that's got to be some ask, surely. The meeting record, 154.97. Keely's personal best, 154.33, second in Stockholm. It'll be Paris Peoples on the outside who's got the task to try and get them maybe even as far as 600 metres. She can do that. She's done it in racing before, but Keely has not started particularly quickly here. In fact, it started very, very slowly indeed, and is just slotting in behind everybody else and has just let the pacemaker go. And I just wonder whether those strap legs you can see there have meant that she's decided the fast times are not for today. I'm just going to come to Eugene and just win this, because the pacemaker is away and gone.
No, the pacemaker's gone off way too quickly. I saw Keely at 200 around 27 seconds. The pacemaker's 20 metres in the lead. I mean, she's going to go through in 53, 54 or something. She holds this form, and I think the rest of the pack having to maintain or judge their own pace. She goes through there. There you go, 53.5. Ridiculously quick. It's 2 seconds too fast. That's a shame.
Yeah, well, Keely's let Jallow lead it here, and Jallow went through in about 55 high, 55.8, maybe thereabouts. Jallow is still going for it out in front here. The NCAA champion, Keely Hodgkinson, moving into second place behind her. Odira's following. Bourgoin has tried to hang on to the Olympic champion, and there's Odira, not too far away, the Kenyan, who managed to find something amazing in the home straight at the World Championships. But it's Keely, 126.13. That's pretty quick through 600, but the Kenyan is still there. The Olympic champion against the world champion, Keely Hodgkinson, trying to strike out here and win this. She's going to have to work hard because Odira's very, very quick in the home straight, and the Kenyan comes onto her shoulder. It's Adire, the world champion, against the Olympic champion. Keely Hodgkinson trying to hang on, but she's not going to do it. The world champion is going to take it again. Let's watch the clock. Outside 155, 156.1. For the second time in a row, the Olympic champion gets beaten. This time by an athlete she knows is so good. And Adire, for the first time since the World Championship, since that win, has shown how good she is, how good she can be. A bit of a strange race in terms of pace, etc. Jallow really got sucked into going a bit too hard. Keely felt as though it made all the right moves at the right time, but just lacked a little bit of something in that last 200 metres too.
No, exactly right. And Adire comes good again. A bit of a shock, that one. She hasn't really shown any form since Tokyo last year when she lifted that world title as a surprise. Pair of them way ahead of the rest of the pack. That underlines to some degree the quality of the running there over the final 200. The pacemaking was some of the worst I've ever seen, I think. 2 seconds too fast over 400 in an 800 is staggering misjudgment. But, well, we all make mistakes. We're all human. Hodgkinson, I don't know. She's had a funny old season, Steve. She concentrated so hard on the 400s and then had that twinge at the UK Championships a couple of weeks back, which meant she couldn't start her 400 there. And now she's fallen over and hurt her knees. I just wonder if there's these little interruptions and mental clicks but do build up and take an effect. I still think she'll come good. There's a lot of season left.
Yeah, in her defence, when I saw her knees yesterday, there was a bit of me going, no, they are really badly cut up. And I think it's good that she came, it's good that she's here. I'm not making excuses for her at all.
But it was so bad, they said she needed stitches, and she said, I don't want them, because that would mean not
it would have stiffened up even more. But yeah, so she gave it a go, didn't make any excuses beforehand. So yeah, well done Adire, though. That's an exceptional performance.
Back to this long jump then. Larissa Yapikino with that national record opener. Absolutely huge 7.12, but she's in second place because, of course, Davis Woodall came back in round 2 with a 7.13. No jump in the second round, passes in the third round, and there she's, what's going on there? She's been counted out in the fourth round by the looks of things. She's been timed out. It's almost like she can't handle the fact she's suddenly jumped a massive personal best with that opening effort, 7.12. That's really strange. Been deemed as a no jump. Looks like she wanted to jump. I don't know whether she was waiting for the wind to be right and then it possibly ran out of time. Alyssa Jones then. Now she had a couple of no jumps, then a 6.99. That from Jones was great jumping. I mean, how often do you see 3 athletes get over 7 metres? Can she join them here? Jones, she is a 7.09 jumper. That was in back in late May in Fayetteville. Good on the board.
Well, we're still buzzing in this shot put after Fabri's first throw. 22.77, excuse me, 22.74. So Campbell, the Jamaican, third throwing in the order, the Olympic bronze medalist, who did win with a new national record in China, who went further in Zagreb just recently, so he's in top form as well, and that's not a bad start from him. Over 22 metres, it's not going to challenge the lead because that was heading towards 23 metres, but 22.16 for the Jamaican, moves him into second.
Also Olympic finalist in Paris.
Well, there's the rather glorious facility of Hayward Field, built for those 2022 World Championships, host the World Under 18 Championships in just a few weeks' time, World Junior Championships, I should say, just a few weeks' time. Sun beating down on the athletes at the 200-metre point. It is the men's 200 metres, the next event on the track. We know this is a super quick track. The meeting record 19.52 by Noah Lyles. All of 5 years ago now, mind you. This is a strong field. Britain Zarnell Hughes will go in lane 4. There in lane 3 is Tate Taylor. He is a monstrous talent, Tate Taylor. He's just 18 years old. Last year, when he was 17, he ran 9.92 for 100. He won both the 100 and 200 metres at the US Junior Championships here just recently. That was in the middle of June, a couple of weeks ago. Nice lane draw too for Tate Taylor, the youngster. Accruing experience all the time. Zarnell Hughes outside him, 4 times the European champion. He goes in 4. Charamba Akanakaisha Charamba of Zimbabwe, 7th in the Olympic Games in Paris. He too is a growing force. He's only 24 now. Came second in Doha a couple of weeks back, 19.88. Indeed, in his last 2 races, he's run 19.88 in College Station back in early June, and then in Doha again. And he was beaten by Dambile of South Africa. Fastest time in the world this year by Jaden Reed, 19.63. That was on this track 3 weeks ago. Tobogo, well, he's the Olympic champion, the Botswana. He goes in lane 7. One in Oslo back in early June, over 200 meters in fine form. The Puerto Rican Jose Figueroa, already 12 200s this year, set a national record last Saturday at Medellin at 5,000 feet altitude, 1987. It was altitude assisted, of course. Courtney Lindsay goes in lane 5, close to his 100 personal best recently. Semi-finalist at the World Championships last year in Tokyo at 100 and 200 meters. 1971, 19.71 his best in Nairobi, again altitude assisted a couple of years back. There is Zarnell Hughes, fresh from winning the UK Championship 2 weeks ago. Tall figure, Zarnell, 1m93, 6'4". He's in 4. That's a nice lane draw for him as well. There is Tate Taylor. What a talent he is. Former basketball player, former soccer player, as they call it in these parts. He's in fine form, 19.94, 2 weeks ago here on this track. Adrian Kerr goes in lane 2, the Jamaican. 6th in the Jamaican Championships a couple of weeks ago. Hasn't broken 20 yet, Kerr. He would love to do that today, and he probably need to if he's getting the top 3 in this. And then Sam Blakowski of the USA. He ran a huge personal best at Winter Gardens in Florida a couple of weeks ago. His previous best was 20.33, and get this, he ran 19.93. He ran about 4 meters quicker than he'd ever run before. It was his first sub-20-second run, but he's got lane 1. Who'd want that? Blakowski in 1, Adrian Kerr, Jamaica in 2, Tate Taylor, the youngster, in 3. Watch him, frightening talent. Zarnell Hughes goes in 4 for Great Britain. Courtney Lindsay of the USA in 5. Jose Figueroa, Puerto Rico, 6. Tobogo, the Olympic champion, in 7. He's in fine form, the Botswanan. Lavelle in 8. Charamba in 9. They go away well. Taylor really quickly into his running. Indeed, he's up on Zarnell Hughes at the moment. Great running too from Courtney Lindsay in lane 5. He leads at the moment. Certainly some running to be done here. In lane 7, going best of all is Lavelle. Look at this from Tate Taylor. Wow, he's thrashing this field. That's a 2-meter winning margin, 19.75. That is another massive personal best for the youngster. He is 18 years old. Can you believe it? Steve, I don't think he accelerated there, but it looked like he did. Into a slight headwind, minus 0.5. And he just held his form so well when the others were tiring the last 40 and 50. He probably pulled 3 meters out of most of that field in the last 50. Absolutely astonishing. 1975 for Tate Taylor. The USA have got a boy here who is going to be so special in the next few years.
Yeah, he looked so relaxed in press conference yesterday and again here today. So Lavelle's gone out really hard out in lane 8. And then you're thinking, where's Tobogo? Well, here he comes. But look at the youngster. And Tobogo is chasing. He's not running on, he's chasing. He's not going to get there. He's already gone and away. So good that last 70, 80 meters. Look at that action there. Bit of work to do perhaps, a little bit of movement side to side, but smooth movement, generating that speed, maintaining that speed down the home straight. So new personal best, big personal best there. Slight headwind, minus 0.9 as well too.
Boy, oh boy, 19.75, a personal best for Tate Taylor. Remember that name, Tobogo, the Olympic champion, never got a sniff at getting back from there. It's the fourth fastest time in the world this year, and he has beaten such a strong field there. Only the first 2 under 20 seconds into that slight headwind.
You know, sometimes athletes get the chance to do it. And he said, I know the history. I mean, he was sharing the stage with a couple of greats, and he's kind of going, this is what I want to do. But then to step up at this age, and you're lane 3, by the way, not the best lane, and we know Eugene can be pretty quick, particularly in the sprint. The 200's not always as quick, but yeah, phenomenal performance. Watch out. That is amazing. 19.75
You got to go to.
So, you know, that might have been worth 19.6.
And you're right, at the press conference yesterday, what was quite striking is how composed he was. Really speaks well, eloquent, smart lad. He's got his head together. And, you know, and you're right to mention his form. It was rocking a bit from side to side. It wasn't textbook. I mean, maybe they need to reassess what's the best form.
But that'll get better, you know, as he gets stronger, can hold his body. I mean, he's just got phenomenal talent, pace, and, you know, as you develop, that raw talent gets honed into much better perfect technique. But, you know,
I mean, Darnell Hughes there, he picks up fourth from right. He's the British record holder at 100, and he picks him up by about 60 metres.
But for me, it's that bit off the bend, that transition to home straight to Bogo was not where he needed to be. With him, maybe he was a bit complacent there, and there was no way he was going to run him down. He was not slowing down, just kept going. But it was that move off the bend, and then 50 to go, he's got 3-4 metres, well, maybe 2-3 metres.
What's weird is Tabocco is a 9.8 guy, and he ran a very, very lazy bend in a way, didn't he?
Monet Nichols in this phenomenal women's long jump, where it started with a new Italian record for Giacchino, 7:12. Davis Woodall responded 7:13. We're into fourth round with Monet Nichols. Jones had a 6:99, and Tim was saying, could we get 3 women over 7 metres? Well, that might have just happened here. Right on the board, beautiful. Look at that. So, the American joins the party, 7 metres and 5, a new personal best for Monet Nichols.
Now, any statisticians out there, write in and tell us when was the last time 3 women got over 7 metres in the same long jump competition. It's pretty rare.
I think in the Diamond League in particular, yeah.
I mean, only 3 women have gone over 7 metres this year before today. Nichols has just joined them.
Tim,
now Davis Woodall.
Sorry, what I should say, the win was +3 for that.
What a shame. Davis Woodall leads 7:13. Would love to put a bit more daylight between herself and Yapikino. I don't think that's the one. He is the Olympic champion, of course, world champion from last year. 7:20. She jumped in LA a couple of weeks back. I called that competition, and it was almost an optical illusion watching her stay in the air for so long. She's relatively small, got lovely speed, great rhythm down the runway. She's only 5'3", 1m60. Big by long jump standards. Mihambo, by the way, of Germany, who's twice the world champion, Olympic champion in Tokyo 21, down in 5th place at the moment. It hasn't hit a scratch, 6.92 so far.
Well, earlier on today, there were heats held for the women's 100 metres, such that the field was so strong here, and some good athletes went out. Amy Hunt of Great Britain not able to make it through, and we did have both Claytons here, but only one of them has made it. Tina getting through, Tia did not. It was the top 4 and one of the fastest losers. So Tina Clayton, you can see, one of the fastest in the world this year, ends up in lane 1. Dina Asher-Smith of Great Britain, former world champion at 200 metres. I think we'll be really pleased to have made the final here, because on season's best she was going to struggle to do that, but outside 11 seconds was enough to get through. It all looked a little bit tense in the heat, you could see that, and Jonielle Smith took advantage of that, was second in heat 1. Then the big names, the return in the Diamond League here in the USA for Sha'Carri Richardson, producing pretty sharp performance, 10.83. She was beaten, I'll come on to that in a second, but not by much. So she's got lane 4. Then the Jamaican great champion, Shericka Jackson, coming back to excellent form, right in the middle. She's going to have lane 5. Former world champion at 200 metres on a couple of occasions. Won the Jamaican champs in 10.81 just recently. perhaps the favourite before we started here, Jefferson Wooden, the American who had such an incredible season last year. The world champion. Just looked maybe not quite as sharp. She did win with 10.95 in the heats. It was Hodge who still is the fastest in the world this year, Adija Hodge, who won the first heat in 10.82, just ahead of Richardson, who caught the eye a little bit. So Richardson's going to be in 4, Jackson in 5, Jefferson Wood in 6, Hodge is going to be in 7. Then we've got Favour of Feely, and then on the outside will be Shaunti Jackson, making the lineup of 9 athletes in this final. Wind is just kind of swirling around. I mentioned that +3 meters in the long jump. It's been right on the edge, didn't it? We saw 1.8 in the hurdles, I think. Just hoping it sits nicely around that sort of mark, and we might get something pretty quick here. Sha'Carri Richardson hoping to get back to winning ways here, gets such a good field. She's in 4, sitting up in her blocks. Next to her Jackson, then Jefferson Wooden, Hodge in 7. Women's 100 meters. Hodge gets a good start, but not as good as Jefferson Wooden. Jefferson Wooden's out sharp. Clayton on the far side got a good start as well, and then Richardson's trying to get back amongst it. Yeah, this is going to be very tight on the line. It could just be Jefferson Wooden. So close. Richardson thinks she's got it. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait. I thought Jefferson Wooden just held on enough there. It's very, very close. Hodge finished quickly as well. 10.78. It will be legal, whoever gets the win. Let's just wait and see. Richardson seems happy either way. She definitely thought she had it. But for me, it was Jefferson Wooden who just held on. It was a good start from the world champion, Sha'Carri Richardson. Frustratingly throws her photo finish away. Knows she was close, but not quite there.
Yeah, Jefferson Wooden led most of the race, didn't she? Richardson looked guilty of not dipping. Wow, leaning back as she goes through the line. That could have been the difference. I think she probably thought, Steve, because she'd been coming through over the last 30, she had the momentum. She probably thought that momentum had carried her through to the lead. Loses it by 1/100th of a second. The minutest of leans at the line there, and that result would be reversed. She'd have taken the race.
Yeah, that shows exactly the point you're making, Tim. Leaning back a little. I mean, that's Richardson's style, but either she thought she had it and wasn't really. I mean, you have to be aware she's got that experience.
But speaking of experience, Jefferson Wooden is leading.
Yeah.
Sha'Carri's sort of leaning back. And here it is again. Jefferson Wooden, second left. Absolutely brilliant. Sha'Carri Richardson coming back all the time. And I must admit, I see that again. And I thought Sha'Carri Richardson had taken it. And I did in the live. You called it right. I thought Richardson took it, and she did too. Take a look again at this.
Look how quickly Hodge is finishing as well. She was never quite there, you know. I mean, I think if you think you're ahead and then someone just pips you on the line, but for me, Jefferson Wooden was leading all the way. The others were running her down slightly, but yeah, she got a great start, Jefferson Wooden. Richardson, though, is, well, she's back in great form, isn't she? Hodge, fastest in the world this year, settles for 3rd. Personal best for Smith, after a good performance in the heats as well. The others outside in second.
Well, we can take a look at the race again from above. You can see that really good start in lane 3. That was Janelle Smith, but Jefferson Wood ran the most consistent race. Great in her pickup, strong through the middle stage of the race, and held her form here and had the presence of mind to dip. Hodge in the red on the near side, so nearly got there. Another 5 meters, I think she might have taken it herself. Hardly anything at 10.78, 10.79, 10.80. Cannot get tighter than that.
Yeah, and the wind ended up 0. I mean, there is a bit of a wind, just depends on which direction it is when it when they run. It's kind of moving a little bit around. Okay, we've got the latter stages of the shot put getting close now. It was all blown apart in that first round, though, Tim.
It was indeed. Steen there in the fourth round in 21.57 for Steen. And came in his third round. No big throws prior to this in round 4, and that's a no throw from Steen. World Indoor Championship silver medal last year, Steen. He's a 22.11 performer at his best. Very close to that this year. He's indoors greater at 22.07, but he stays in fourth place, Steen. Fabry still with that lead from his opener, 22.74.
The American, Adrian Paperi. Good to see Peyton Otterdal back, by the way. Another one who got injured and missed all the early part of the season. Hasn't competed since the 25 World Champs. He's back with 20.55, but Paperi here. 21.34 first round effort. That one close, but doesn't improve matters for him.
Well, we can go to the 3-2-1 in the women's long jump. Tara Davis-Woodall leads by that slender margin, but that is a rare caption. 3 athletes over 7 meters in the same women's long jump competition.
Just at the 3 meter window in the third one. It won't be efficient.
You're right. Davis-Woodall then. Next to go. Of course, the Olympian Hunter Woodall is in the stadium. Davis-Woodall at 7:20 last week, lifetime best. Shows that last week, a couple of weeks ago, shows what sort of form she is in. She goes further here. Ooh, that was big. I think maybe the win 2.5. Thought maybe it was a no jump. She was over the line there. Well, he's given a valid mark. Davis-Woodall. 6.82. 3.2 the win behind her. 7.12. It was good on the board. 7.12, but the win just over the legal limit.
Yeah, 3 jumps over 7 meters, 2 of them with wind assisted, but most importantly by 1 centimeter ahead of this young lady here who got off to a cracking start. As you see, 3 no jumps. One of them was, as we saw, timed out. Did pass in round 3. So Iachino with her final jump of the competition with that national record already tucked away. Can she improve? Good effort though. Just had a little look onto the board and acknowledges the crowd. Good on the board. A legal one to finish, so she finishes where she started with a pretty good effort. 7.12 though, phenomenal. 6.91. In the final round for the Italian. Good finish. Normally she'd be pretty happy with that. It's her 7.12 though, just a bit more ordinary. So then Nichols, our last jump of the competition. Can she get a favourable win and still get beyond 7 meters? Who knows? It was only, it was 3 meters per second. Her best legal effort today is 6.82. She got a 6.84 in round 1. That was also with a plus 2.6. So the American crowd trying to get behind her here. Just checking there. Though she gave it everything, went for it, not by much though, just over the board. So the winner, Davis-Woodall, by 1 centimeter from Iachino. New national record for the Italian.
Just 2 events left on the track. The women's mile comes next, and then the meeting will conclude with the men's Bowerman mile. Both of them promise to be real humdingers. Faith Kipyegon, the world record holder from Kenya, goes in this race. So does Georgia Hunter-Bell. Kipyegon has a question mark over her form. Hunter-Bell does not. She's in scintillating form. The world indoor champion back in March, trains with Keely Hodgkinson, and very, very fast to win in Paris last week at 3:55. Jessica Hull is in there as well. She's rounding into form. Mesele, 6th in the Olympic Games, 800 metres. Dorcas Ewai hasn't raced in 6 weeks. Nikki Hiltz, well, World Indoor Championship silver medalist a couple of years ago, the US champion last year. She won the Olympic trials here in 2024 in a personal best of 3:55 for 1,500 metres. This is a mile. It's rarely run for the women. Galvadite is in there for Lithuania. The Ethiopia's Bene. Laura Muir, she could be special here. The European champion twice in 2018 and 2022 in 1,500 metres. And there is Faith Kipyegon. She's just had 2 races this year, the Kenyan. 3 times the Olympic champion at 1,500. She ran a 10K in Monaco back in February in 29:47. A 10K on the roads makes her the 18th fastest in history. Her range is astonishing. She's had just 1 track race this year. That was a 5,000 to win in Shanghai back in May. She ran 14:24 there. So we don't know what sort of form she's in. The middle distances, away they go. Kipyegon relatively slowly away on the inside, is boxed at the moment, back in 3rd on the inside, but probably in about, well, awkwardly with that whole field around her. The pacemaker going out here is Taryn Parks. Are they going to go with her in this one or not? But Hunter-Bell, I think, Steve, when you look at her recent form, running 1:55 in a solo run to win the UK Championships 800 metres a couple of weeks ago. I'm sure you watched that one. She is in scintillating form, Hunter-Bell. Jess Hull's sort of rounding into form, the Olympic silver medalist at 1,500. So Kipyegon here has got to be on her toes.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting choice, Tim, to choose to be on the inside of the lineup. All the other ones that you've mentioned were on the outside. She asked for that, next to the pacemaker. Pacemaker goes, Faith gets stuck in the pack, doesn't get off the line quick enough. Everyone then's wondering what to do. They're all waiting for Faith. Finally down the back straight, she gets herself extricated and moves through. So now normal service resumed. Jess Hull is tucked in right behind her, and the others taking their positions, because Hunter-Bell and Nikki Hiltz tend not to want to get right on the pace. You know, they like to sit off it a little bit and trust their pace towards the end. So that's what we've now got. But the pacemaker is moving away from Faith.
So Faith Kipyegon easing herself into the lead from the pack. Jessica Hull in 2nd place. There's shades of the Olympic final in Paris to this, in 1-2 at least, as they move down the back straight. And in 3rd place from the pack is Dorcas Ewai. Ewai, who hasn't raced in 6 weeks, was 5th in Shanghai and then 4th in Xiamen, both fast in China back in May. But the pacemaker, yet again, no use whatsoever, totally irrelevant to this field as they come into the straight. And Kipyegon clearly wanting to dominate this one. They've all slotted in behind us, Steve, sort of Pied Piper style, just looking for Hunter-Bell. And she is up there, Rod, in about 5th place in the main pack at the moment. They go through 800, 207. It's solid, but it's not quick.
Well, 2.7 at the front. They were more like 2.10 behind that, which is much slower. There have been some question marks about Faith's kind of shape. What shape is she in? You said we haven't seen her race much, and I think if she was really in great shape, don't know if she's missed some training, then she would have gone for this. I mean, I don't know, but I think what we're seeing here is a Faith Kipyegon who's just being a little bit circumspect here. So Jess Hull's got a decision. She'll want to decide to move it on quickly, because behind is Hunter-Bell and Hiltz, who will finish very, very quickly. We know that.
Kipyegon then with just over a lap and a bit to go. Jess Hull in 2nd place, Ewai in 3rd, and then now beginning to queue up as they bunch a little bit here. Kipyegon is so quick, maybe she's playing them to her game here, she's dictating things, and it is bunching, and Hiltz in the blue down the outside has got a decision to make it. Does she go past Ewai at the bell? Ewai accelerates. Hunter-Bell boxed at the moment in 5th place on the inside. I'd like to have seen her in a better position than that, as Kipyegon has allowed them here, or rather they've allowed Kipyegon to dictate the tempo, and we know she's super quick. remember that devastating explosion of pace 10 years ago in Rio when she destroyed the best in the world at the Olympic Games. And there's still about 8 or 9 athletes there in the space of 5 meters down the back straight. Still Hunter Bell, badly positioned at the moment in about 6th or 7th place. Doesn't seem to have the legs at the moment. She's got a lot of work to do. Kipyegon in the lead. Hiltz well positioned in 2nd place in the blue. Beautifully positioned, but Kipyegon dictating things still. Going well is Jess Hull on the inside for Australia, but she's booked. Moving around the outside and looking strong now. 2 or 3 athletes attacking on the outside, but Kipyegon, has she got this one perfect? Hiltz down the middle in the blue. Ewoy on the outside, and Hiltz might take this one. I think she's going to. The crowd will love this one from Hiltz. Wins there, beats Kipyegon, the winning time 4:17, the fastest time in the world this year. And Kipyegon, well, maybe she flattered to deceive there, Steve. She nearly, so nearly got it right. But Nikki Hiltz, talk about mind over matter. The way she managed to ease herself, forced herself into the lead there over the last 13 meters. Absolutely brilliant.
Well, this was... I'm not going to say it was unexpected. As I said, there had been talk about what sort of shape was Faith Kipyegon in. And she's trusted herself to do something I'm not sure she's best equipped to do, which is to outkick athletes who are so quick. Bit surprised that Hunter Bell didn't get involved. But Nikki Hiltz, perfect position, perfect time to strike. Has to work really hard here, though, to hold others off down the home straight. So Ewoy was there, but it was all about that last 200. And Kipyegon, no pace there. And look, we know that she's making transition, trying to cover other events and things. But when you take on the best in the world at 1500 in the mile, and Kipyegon has been the best, of course, by a long way. You've got to be right. Even for Faith Kipyegon, you've got to be right. She wasn't quite right today. Hiltz gets the win. Brilliant.
Doesn't get the credit deserved, Nikki Hiltz. Again and again, she produces the goods. Super consistent, and she's beaten most of the best in the world with that run. Superb performance.
Our final 3 in the men's shot put, led by Leonardo Fabri with an incredible 22.74. Not a personal best, but it is the longest throw in the world this year. He'll be the first to go in this 6th round for just the 3 of them. Others would have loved to have figured here, but it's going to be Campbell and John Geist. Campbell himself over 22, Geist was close, 21.98, but others struggled a bit today. I really can't see anybody going further here. That first round effort really did stun everybody, maybe even himself. He's been in great form, 22.50 thereabouts just recently, so maybe not totally unexpected 22.74. Surely he's got this one. Can he go further? Oh, it's over 22 again. He walks out the front of the circle though. His head in his hands. That's a no throw. Just couldn't hold it.
He has though, Steve. Got a massive margin. Back to Campbell at the moment, 22.74 to 22.16, well over half a metre. Jamaican's got to find Geist 21.98. First 8 fellas in this competition over 21 metres. Joe Kovacs out of sorts today, a little down in 8th place with 21.05. That came in the 2nd round for him. Here comes Rajendra Campbell, Olympic bronze medalist, the big Jamaican. Former cricketer. He could bung it in from the outfield. No, just over 20 metres. Lost his balance there. Left-handed thrower, Rajendra Campbell, but 22.16 was his opener. Funny enough, the same as Fabry, their best coming really early on. That's the 3rd no throw of his series, Campbell. He will be frustrated with that. 22.44 to win in Zagreb just last week. Would have been very handy today. Now, Jordan Geist put the cat amongst the pigeons. Very close to his lifetime best this year, 22.24 through just a couple of weeks ago. That's high up there in the 21s again for guys. His best 21.98 coming in round 2. I don't think he's improved on that. Nice series from him. A couple of 21.55s, a 21.89, and then the big one was in round 2, 21.98. Guys there. No, 21.52. Really solid series from him. Piperi in 4th place, just off the rostrum. But Fabry confirms the winner in that men's shot with his opener, 22.74. There it is, Fabry, Campbell, guys, 1, 2, 3. World lead for the Italian with an opening effort here in Eugene.
Well, in Hayward Field, as is the tradition, Bowerman Tower and the Bowerman Mile. Great, as ever, great field. And Jared Naguse has been in superb form. He was talking about it at the press conference, finding his mojo again. I don't know where it went, but I know he's found it. And is in great form, running fast, winning as well. But he knows this is going to be a big ask today. Hocker back, his first 1,500, mile or 1,500 of the outdoor season, running incredibly fast indoor mile, 3:45, with a good indoor season. What's he got here? Both of them will have to be very good to beat this young man from Australia. Cameron Myers, just 20 years of age, won the Paris Diamond League in 3:28 flat. He's a Chelsea fan, we won't hold that against him. But watch out. We've got Timothy Chariot, who's got our Chariot on there, who really surprised everybody in Oslo. Habs as well has the ability to run fast as he has done here in the past. And there's Timothy. He stopped at Reynolds Chariot. Timothy, as I mentioned, just for me, I just love watching him run still. He's got so much experience and came away with that big win, didn't he? So he will be one to figure as well. So those kind of others are going to run fast behind the guys who are going out for a quick pace. 1:52.5 through 800 meters. Just for you folk who just like to keep it simple, it's 4 laps plus 9 meters. So you have to always remember that. So the splits that we get are for 880 or 440 yards, 880 yards, etc. Well, what's Myers got? He's going to the Commonwealth Games, and I can't wait to take on the Scots. Jake Whiteman, Josh Kerr. Set a 5,000 personal best in the Aussie Champs. After he'd won the 1,500, 3:29 without a pacemaker. 3:28 in Paris was good enough, but then without a pacemaker. And he ran 13:11, so great strength. Add to that the fact he's a 1:44 flat 800 meter runner now. He's got all that he needs. So fast-paced, as I mentioned, being asked for. Hopefully it won't be too quick early on. Keep an eye on the lights. The whole pack will enjoy it. Not too many in the race as well, which I think is good. And they're all settling, looking for their spots, looking for where they'd like to be, also looking for the main contender. So Myers, the one who's kind of led the big names there, with Naguse getting close to him behind. They'll be keeping a hard, strong look at his back. And Cole Hopper not too far away on the curb, Chariot just behind him.
Well, Hobbs Kessler in 2nd place, looking up for this. Indeed, 11 of these men have broken 3:50 for the mile. It's old school now, breaking 3:50. Used to be special. But I'm glad to see Myers up there in 4th place, team. He's not afraid of front running, and you're right, look, 55.82 at 400 meters, they're saying. We're not 100% sure if that's 440 or 400 meters, but it's very quick. And they are looking for a quick time here. And if the wind can just settle a little bit, the flag's blowing pretty strongly at the top of the home straight. They're top of your picture now. Then we might see something very special here today. Myers, I was impressed with the last week, that 3:28 in Paris, 3:28 dead, and he looks comfortable doing it. He's got more in the tank.
Well, as I mentioned, if you win the Aussie Champs at 3:29 without a pacemaker, then that's a great ability to have. A bit surprised to see Kessler really going for this and Farken behind him, acting as a good pacemaker for Myers here, because he wouldn't have wanted to be stuck on his own after 800 meters, as it were, with Naguse and Hocker and Chariot behind him. So Kessler and Farken do the Aussie a favour. Pace is good, pace is strong. 1:52. through the 800-meter mark, but more importantly for me, even going through the bell there, the kind of the finish line, that would have been about 1:53.5, which sets him up nicely with somewhere in the 3:45 zone. However, Kessler now has got the responsibility of hanging on the pacemaker, and he might not want that.
Well, if he doesn't, then I think Cam Myers will move through. And in fact, Myers, they're moving up into third place in that yellow vest, going past Farken in the light blue. Just a lap and a half to run. And this is where Myers needs to get the race by the horns, so to speak, and shake it down. You can see Hocker, the Olympic champion, back in, fourth place on the inside, moving nicely. A little bit of an unknown quantity, Hocker.
Yeah, what a great indoor season, and he said, I'm going to build. He was a bit coy about his plans for the rest of the season, but it's Myers taking on. Kessler's picked up. Farken is starting to get passed by others. The Goose has moved into third. He needs to be closer to Myers for me. Chariot lurking. And then Hams isn't too far away either, but it's Myers, the young Australian, just 20 years of age, and is in a good spot here. Kessler behind him, the Goose, Farken, Chariot, Hocker, Hams, all still in with a chance, because Myers winding it up, but he's not going away yet. He's making them hurt, but he's got to keep the foot to the floor here. They're trying to hang on to him. Really working hard. The Goose is still too far away for me. Hams has just slotted in. Farken's proving to be a bit of a hurdle for others to go by, but look at Myers. He's away and gone, and the Goose has missed the chance. He's let him go, and look at this. Nothing they can do about this. Cam Myers storming through. What a brilliant performance from the young Australian. Heavy leg a little bit now, but what a win for him. 3:46.07. The Goose followed in by a fast finish at Ethan Strand. But wow. Guts, ability, racecraft, speed, strength. This guy's got everything. Really, really incredible performance. He's talked about the heritage in his own country, the heritage of miling, and that'll be a new record for him. He knew he was chasing the Aussie record, which he now has. Well, he had it anyway, didn't he? But it's a new personal best too. What more do you say about it?
Well, I mean, I got his last lap at 55.06, Cam Myers here. He's destroyed that field. I mean, you're right, the Goose left it too late when he moved it around the outside, tried to attack. Cam Myers had gone, he kicked in hard, visibly accelerated with about 100 to go, Cam Myers. There's more in the tank from this young fella. He slots into the world all-time list, ahead of a bloke called Steve Cram, by the way, in about 8th place all-time. And look at that, not stretched, not straight. He is strong, he's fast, and he's just 20. Watch this fella.
Well, what a way to finish. A new area record for Myers, new personal best, and continues his dominance at the moment. Can't wait to see him in these championship situations he's going to face shortly.
First 10 go below 350 in that mile. The next Diamond League, well, it's just a few days away. We're in Monaco next weekend. Myself and Hannah England will be down there on the Riviera, enjoying hopefully a bit of sunshine as well there. It's been a wonderful meeting here at Hayward Field. Do hope you've enjoyed it. Myself and Steve Cram, really privileged to witness one great performance after another. From all of us here, I'll say goodbye for now, and what a way to finish with that superb mile from Cam Myers. The sport is in good hands. Bye-bye from all of us.